just trying to get set up here. Actually, I should just real quick just clean the lens because it looks like the lens like is completely I look completely blurry on the lens. So if I could find something to clean it off with, that would be very nice. That looks. We'll get to everything in just a moment. This is the first time I've been live streaming. Or this is my first like live stream in a while. Um, and also, as you can see from last video, I did shave a little bit, as you can tell. Plan on doing this every now and then, like shaving a little bit. It's always good, right? Especially since a lot of the people that are in my comments like say stuff about like, oh, you need to shave, man. Like, and for the most part, it's just I don't bother to comment on them just because whatever. But hey, at least those people will probably be happy. So this is yet another Zootopia 2 trailer review, I guess. But this is done differently, obviously, from streaming, and I have like other things to talk about, and like as far as movies and stuff are concerned. So I might as well just like talk about like a lot of stuff, and a lot of this will have to do with Zootopia as well, because this is a big day for Zootopia as well. So we have the trailer, the final trailer. Actually, let me set that up a bit better so I'm not weird looking. I have it set up like on like a mug or something, like in whatever. So yeah, we have the Zootopia trailer, the new one that just came out today. And like this one like shows a little bit more of the story and stuff. Of course, like that's always just what happens with new trailers and stuff and pulling it up. Like, I'm not gonna play any of it on the stream or anything, just cause like whatever. But like, of course, I didn't do that with the last two. I'm not gonna do this one either. Like, but yeah, it's more story driven, I think, more so than the other ones. And now we kind of get like kind of a gist of like what is happening, I guess, from a story perspective. Like, yeah, and overall we've got more story stuff from Zootopia too as well. Like, as the whole like angle with the weather walls and stuff like that. Like, and the Linksleys, like, which were confirmed a couple weeks ago as characters, like, and they're the reason for the weather walls and stuff. And then like they're after this book that like will help, has something to do with Zootopia or something like that. That's what the Gary character's after. And then it's kind of like a chase scene movie, kind of like, because Nick and Judy are trying to help them out, and then like they're trying to help Gary out or something involving them, like while being on the run or something. Now we definitely get like of how it shows us like that kind of thing. So it's definitely more story driven, of course, and that's good. And like there is still a little bit of speculation on who's truly like one of the bad guys, or who the antagonists, I guess, actually are. I'm guessing it's probably the Linksleys, probably like one of them, or is one of them, because they're after like they're talking about like how the mayor's like of Zootopia, how like there's been other mayors of Zootopia, and so like they don't want like this new mayor, this horse guy, like to be like destroyed, like, or they don't want him to be like basically how the lion was, Mayor Lionheart was like treated in the last one, how he got like imprisoned for like everything he did in the first one. Um, and so maybe they're trying to protect him or something. But I don't know if they're really the real antagonists though. Like that's something we don't really know yet, and we don't know who the person with the cloak is. Like that was in the first teaser back in May. So we don't really know who that is. It could be anything really. Like we would just have to wait and see until the movie comes out. That would be good incentive, like for the people who are like to go see it, just to see who the villain is. For other people, like if they're really curious about the villain, that should be like incentive enough, I guess. And yeah, there's a lot of like good stuff in the trailer, like for that. Like it's good. Um, I want to talk about like other things too with the Zootopia stuff. Like mainly if there's been so much speculation about Nick and Judy being a couple in this one, and my reaction, I've always been like ambivalent towards that. Like, who knows, like exactly what, um, who knows, like if they'll like be romantically linked or anything like that. But personally, I just never really saw it. Like, I like the idea, but like the thing is, like, how would they tackle that? You know, like, how would they like make them like a romantic couple instead of just platonically like related or as like partners, like not like partners like, but partners as in like they're partners working on a case. They're like kind of detectives or fugitives, as a lot of people have said, like on the Reddit. I recently joined Reddit. Um, Not joined, but like I recently like did a lot more stuff on Reddit. Like, and also have something I'm gonna talk about later after this that really needs to be brought up because whatever. But like, yeah, I don't know if they'll be a couple and they'll be closer together. They'll be learn more things about each other, for sure. Like, and they'll grow in terms of that. But as like a couple or anything like that, I don't know how far they would do that. I don't know how far that would work. Like, how far this movie. The only way to like figure that out is like for people to see the movie and find out, I guess, which doesn't sound great, but I mean, whatever. So yeah, good trailer again. Definitely excited for it. Definitely excited for the popcorn buckets to come out. Like, maybe as soon as showtimes get announced, or like maybe like in maybe a few weeks. Um, yeah. I also recently started collecting popcorn buckets. I might do a video on that later, but yeah. So yeah, Zootopia 2 definitely good. Good trailer. I kind of want to talk about the box office too, of Zootopia 2 because there's a lot of conflicting like reports on that. The Media Predicts site that I usually go on like to check says it's currently in the 150 million in terms of opening weekend, but that's just opening weekend, like the 3-day opening weekend. I'm assuming. I don't think it's. I don't think this is a 5-day. I think this will be a 3-day weekend prediction, like solely based on like that kind of model. Because like, I'm thinking since Moana 2 did like 130 something around there, I'm thinking Zootopia will build upon that because a lot more people are looking forward to it. There's a lot more anticipation for it, like, and like overall, like it's more beloved and like people actually do want to see this film over Moana 2, which was rushed into production very quickly, and it wasn't intended to be anything, and it just kind of just like ended up the way it was, and it wasn't a great movie necessarily. Like I surprisingly saw it, but I wasn't like anticipating seeing it, or I just saw it because where I go, usually on the weekdays, like they usually they went to a movie during Thanksgiving. That was the movie we went to. Um, and I was just like, whatever. It's just very quickly forgotten about. Basically, I don't remember much other than the songs are kind of iffy and just some really good animation, but it just kind of felt like mediocre. You know, just that's kind of what I felt about it. I don't think Zootopia 2 will be like that necessarily, like because like the people that are making it have said that they're doing a lot more for it, like story wise. They're trying to like build up on it, kind of like think about like films like Toy Story 2, for example, like how they're building on the characters there with that movie. Think about Toy Story 2, how good of a sequel it was to the original Toy Story, which I did. I didn't do a post theater reaction for Toy Story because it's just kind of pointless. Everybody knows exactly what I would say about it. It's great, fantastic, whatever. But Toy Story 2, like Toy Story 2 was a fantastic sequel to Toy Story, which they both have the same level of like critical acclaim. And so like that's kind of what I feel like this film will probably lean towards. It's gonna get a lot of critical acclaim for sure. Kind of like the first one. Okay, like maybe not nearly as much. Maybe like slightly, but still very high. I think still very high for critical acclaim and stuff. And then of course it's gonna blow. It's gonna just make money out of the stratosphere, basically. Just like if the first film did like $1 billion, this is gonna be like maybe like more so than that. Maybe even closer to 2 billion, but I'm not gonna go 2 billion just yet. I feel like in the 1.5 to 1.7 billion range worldwide is currently like the best bet, like as far as this film is concerned. Because and who knows? Who knows? The box office tracking is not out yet. It could basically happen like pretty soon. Like, but the tracking is like whatever. Like, and also like you gotta take into account also the sequels usually do better than like the originals as well. As much as some of us wouldn't like to like think about that, like because of the reputation that Moana 2 and even Ralph Breaks the Internet have, those two movies, like, it's obvious that, like, some of them do better than others, even if not domestically, so there's that too, and overall I think this is going to be a success. I think this is going to be a very good film. I don't know how good it will be, but I know it certainly will be good because, like, there's a lot of creative, like, atmospheres, and there's a lot of, like, visuals and stuff that will carry the film, and also the story itself will carry the film, like, and the themes that it tries to do and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's just basically Zootopia. Now I kind of want to get into something else that is taking place recently in terms of the schedule. So I'm gonna pull it up on my little computer here. Box Office Mojo. This is concerning. This is like a couple years from now. This is gonna be a couple of years from now, like when this happens. So I'm just gonna pull this up. Forgive me if it takes a while because this computer has been a little bit slow as of recent. But it's basically concerning one part of the schedule that we have to talk about because this has been just driving me nuts ever since I found out about this. June 2027. There's a lot of stuff scheduled and it is over congested. I will show you real quick. I said I would not show like the Zootopia stuff. I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. That. that is on my very blurry camera right now. We have June 11th, How to Train Your Dragon 2, which is the live action sequel to How to Train Your Dragon. June 30th, Shrek 5. But this right here, June 18th, 2027. We have Gato, which is the new Pixar one that's coming out in 2027. And Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse opening on the same day, presumably. This is just what's been scheduled so far. In terms of the schedule and stuff like that. This is just, as of right now, as of this moment, they are scheduling June 18th for both films, and that is very problematic to me because it means that there is too much congestion in this, as far as this month in terms of animation is concerned. And yeah, what do I think about that? Not a very good idea to keep these films like scheduled for June. Keep all the films scheduled for June 2027. It's not a very good idea. I mean, because Pixar has had a very rough 2025, and a rough recent years. We thought maybe they got out of it in terms of the whole streaming thing, where they put Turning Red on streaming, and they put other films on streaming too, but they haven't had too much success out of that. Now, Elemental, after it disappointed a little bit, it did a little bit of business, but outside of Inside Out 2, not much. I mean, Elio, definitely. I'm just gonna say it bombed really hard, and I didn't even bother seeing it. Not that I would, anyways. But to be honest, to me, that did look like trash to me, personally, because it didn't really look interesting whatsoever, and I thought some of the stuff in it So no wonder it bombed, because I'm pretty sure there's people who like Elio just fine. I'm pretty sure there's people who don't mind it. It has good reviews, but personally there's nothing really that sets it that look like it would set it apart from anything. Really, that's why it bombed, kind of, because it just didn't look appealing enough in an era where we have a lot of different things happening. And that's, and there needs to be original content in order, original stuff that does look good. For example, we have Hoppers coming out in March 2026. That's good. That is a very good film. That looks I'm not saying it is. It looks like a very good film. It looks like it would be. It doesn't have the bean-shaped bouts that everybody makes fun of or whatever the heck. It actually has some ideas and stuff and clever designs that would make it look like a good film, obviously, and a story and a premise that looks good, character, animation, all that kind of stuff. It would definitely be good. And also they did something really smart, because before then, there was 3 animated movies, basically 1 to 2 weeks up, scheduled apart from each other, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. With Cat in the Hat, it was initially scheduled for the week before Hoppers came out. The smart thing, maybe they didn't know it was a smart thing, but it is a smart thing just looking at it. They pushed that to February, whatever the heck is coming up, the last week of February, into the first week of November next year, 2026, whatever day that is. I think November 6th or something like that. I have not, so they might have not thought that it was that, because maybe they need to work on some things in the pre-production of that Cat in the Hat movie, which, not gonna lie, doesn't look too interesting to me. But I can't say about that trailer specifically, like because I've seen it in front of like 3 movies, like and so I feel like kind of inclined to like talk about it a little bit. That I do think, actually maybe 4 now that I think of it, 3 or 4 times in front of movies. Like it has a good visual style, I think. If they had stuck with it with that kind of style, maybe it would look really good. Maybe it would put animation in kind of a more creative spotlight. But I mean, like, it looks about what it's. It looks like. How do I phrase this with the Cat in the Hat movie? It looks like what a lot of people would probably expect it to look like. To like, looks like a decent enough movie, I guess. Like nothing that I would be interested in like too much, but like still pretty good, especially coming off that 2003 one, which looked like garbage, somewhat. But still, it's a good thing they pushed that to November because it gives Hoppers more of a chance to do some box office business, and with the program like the counter programming that's happening with it with this the Bride movie coming out, which had its trailer come out recently. Might get that in front of one battle after another because that's also Warner Brothers. Um, yeah, that's definitely like good counter programming. Both films could do very well at the box office. The Hoppers definitely would because there's not much in the way of like animation that's coming out until when there's another Super Mario Brothers movie coming out. Then, uh, nothing in terms of animation is coming out other than some movie named The Pout Fish, which is Viva Pictures probably isn't gonna make that much money. They just make a lot of like animated movies that, like they don't have that wide of an audience. Viva Pictures and all this stuff like basically the people that are making like Night of the Zootopocalypse and like I don't know if it was them in or not like Night of the Zootopocalypse, Pets on a Train, like all that kind of stuff. That's not going to do very well because it's very independent for its own good and like it doesn't really look as theatrical. Like from the image from this like fish one, it doesn't really look like it's going to do that much. Like because it doesn't look that impressive. Like so the Hoppers will definitely be dominating in animation for March. And like in February we have February only now has the movie Goat, which honestly looks terrible to me. But like, if you want to see it, fine. It looks like its style is worn out. Like this, that style's kind of worn itself out a little bit. But I mean, Goat still has like its chance to like like make a little bit of its money. I don't know if it has like into the stratosphere like with its like box office like because like with sports movies like and stuff they don't really do that well like but like it's I just can't see Goat really like wowing anyone to be honest like in the same way that like a Pixar like traditionally has done or what Zootopia 2 is definitely going to be doing. um I I just can't see that like might reach like the 90 million in the states, but like other than that, I don't really know. That's kind of a wild card right now. But Hoppers like it is a wild card still, but like it's a wild card that I definitely can see leaning towards the positive side right now because Hoppers like with all the clutter out of the way definitely has a better chance and yeah, that's pretty much a good thing about Hoppers. Now, going back to June 2027, where we have Gatto coming out, which is about this cat, um, that's like, it's like some, like, European town or something like, I don't know, but like, it's about this cat that's going on an adventure and meets somebody, like, and bonds with somebody who's like really artistic or something like that. Like, I think the cat has like also has like artistic like ability or something, or is into music or something. Like I don't remember the full premise of it, but like I know that it's like a feline mob boss kind of thing. There's a mob in it, and like that premise, I think like Pixar's never really, aside from it being all watercolor or something like that, which I don't expect it to be full watercolor or anything like that. But judging from the fact that Pixar's seldomly, like, not very often done stories where it's just full like animals or anything like that. There is a couple. Ratatouille, very good film. Um, Aside from that, like Good Dinosaur, I guess you could count that, but that is mid in my. That's just kind of like, eh. Um, they haven't really done anything like this before, like with that. I mean, you could say Turning Red and Hoppers for are like more animal driven, I guess, but like that involves people transforming some or shape shifting somehow into animals. Like with Hoppers, it's like her brain is like being put, her conscious is being put in the mind of a beaver, or like, and they're going around like trying to figure out things about the animal world. Or from what I understand, Hoppers has like an environmental thing going on with it. With like Gato, like I think there is something interesting here. And then when you have like all this stuff cluttered like around it, like we have How to Train Your Dragon, we have Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse on the same day, too. Like, and we have Shrek 5 also scheduled for like trying to get that Independence Day like slot that usually would be the Illumination slot anyway. But like we have Shrek 5 on the 30th of that year. Then we have Spider-Man, and then How to Train Your Dragon 2. And not to mention, we have other films as well, like in July, that are also like, we have some Simpsons movies coming out July. There's another Simpsons movie, but we also have Bluey the movie coming out. So that would be very hard to like put, because like Bluey, of course, basically the Bluey movies obviously gonna be a hit because like little kids, and there's a lot of like Bluey fans that are adults, like that are gonna go see that, obviously, because like of that built-in fan base, and because little kids definitely, things targeted towards little kids definitely do pretty well. Like I don't know about this Gabby's Dollhouse like drivel or whatever the heck, but like typically like that does pretty decently. I don't know how well this Bluey movie's going to do, but that's beside the point. What I'm talking about is they should change things up with the release schedule. Like, and my number one choice to move would be Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse. If I'll tell you this, if they move that to May, maybe all of the films that are coming out will have a better chance. And maybe if they moved How to Train Your Dragon 2 from June 11th to June 4th, like maybe that could have a better chance too, depending on whether the critical reception is the same for this one as it was for the last one, which a lot of people were kind of like iffy on, I guess. Like some people probably like the first one. They'll probably think the second one's kind of the similar thing as well, like the second live action one. And people are gonna see Beyond the Spider-Verse. Like people are gonna flock to that movie. People are gonna like be very interested in where the story for that ends. So if you put that in the beginning of May, either May 6th or May 13th, whatever day it comes out on, that would definitely give Gatto a lot more of a leg room, for sure, to like really perform like competently, not be like a $2 billion success or anything like that, but perform well enough past its budget to be profitable. Because like Elia wasn't a profitable film, like, and I really want there to be a success, with original films and stuff. Like, and Hoppers deserves it. It's definitely probably gonna get it, and Ghetto definitely deserves it as well. Like, I just want. It feels like we're never gonna have anything that's like clutter. It feels like there's always so much clutter when it comes to the schedule, and then when we finally get to like a certain time period, all the movies like are out, and there's like, like and there's like no room for anything because like there's so many high profile stuff. There's so many high profile like movies coming out. Like for example, like with going outside of animation real quick, we have the Odyssey coming out on the 17th, and then 2 weeks later we have Spider-Man Brand New Day. So Spider-Man once again sabotaging another film's success somewhat because everybody's gonna go see Brand New Day when it comes out. Spider-Man is the most popular superhero character that there is. So when you have Brand New Day coming out on July 31st, and then you have the Odyssey, which stars the same actors, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and it's a Nolan film, so of course it'll have that Nolan IMAX 70 millimeter audience that is gonna flock to that film and see that film. And then you have Brand New Day coming out. It doesn't really make sense for like both films to like perform decently enough. Like, and you know, like maybe I'm kind of overthinking a little bit, but like if we push Spider-Man Brand New Day to like maybe November 6th on the same day the Cat in the Hat's coming out, like that would be very good counter programming because you have this superhero movie that everybody's going to go to. Meanwhile, if you have like movies that are like kid friendly, if you have like a family, kids that are like too young or might be a little frightened by Spider-Man or whatever, however you'd be frightened by that, whatever, they would probably go to Cat in the Hat. That would be good counter programming. Like that would be excellent. That would be a much better like setup than what they currently have for having Brand New Day come out on the 31st of July. Maybe they want another Deadpool Wolverine kind of performance, but like I don't see that happening whatsoever with this. That would be an excellent thing if they had switched that. Just like if they pushed if they moved Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse to May if they pushed it to May 6th instead of June 18th or either May 6th or May 13th. And if they moved Legend of Zelda around maybe to where like April or some April let me think here, April 10th or 9th or whatever, like if they moved that so we could just like kind of build things a little bit more and give all the films at least a little bit of profit, then maybe that would be good. But this is where it stands right now, and it's kind of disheartening. And my overall thought is like I hope a lot of these films do well. I hope Ghetto does well. I hope Poppers does well enough. And I hope a lot of things do well. Like, and I wish like they could spread movies out so they're not cluttered within each other. So yeah, that's basically it. I guess I am overcompensating on all that stuff, but I mean, whatever. So that's pretty much all I have for this. If you like this, please subscribe to my channel. All that stuff. Leave comments, whatever. This is Scamp Wolf signing out. Take care, and I'm gonna try to end this. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can end this. Oh, I just turned the camera off. Right here. Alright. Take care.